Hi guys, this is Françoise. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you what all of the colors from the Art Philosophy watercolor confection sets look like, and also how you can make a watercolor mixing chart easily to make the most out of the paints you have at home. If you have watched some of my previous videos, you may know I recently became a brand ambassador for Art Philosophy. They sent me all their watercolor paints to try, and among all the things I got were those 12 watercolor sets that they call the watercolor confections. I'm going to be swatching all of these with the swatch cards Art Philosophy provides, and I'm also going to make bigger charts and show you exactly how I go about mixing colors to get a comprehensive color mixing chart for any watercolor set. I'm going to do that with a set called the Classics. But first, let's take a look at what all the watercolor confection sets are like. I love the concept of small sets with a certain theme. There are a whole lot of paintings on my Instagram account if you'd like to get a better feel of what can be achieved with these and get some inspiration. And I'll place a link to that in the description of this video. I'll tell you a bit more about the confection sets and give you some tips as I go through all the sets. Right now there are 12 of them. Each set holds 12 half pans. Their main features are that they are artist-grade paints, and because they're small, they're great for traveling or painting on the go. The first set I've ever bought before I was an ambassador was Essence. And what struck me is the metal tin, because it's so small but very robust and has two fold-out mixing areas, which does make it convenient to mix the paints. It's a nice hefty tin considering it's small. The Classics are your common set of colors. It does have all of the main colors you might need. This is the one I'll be making a color mixing chart with to show you how to mix colors to get a wide variety of choices and help you decide which set to use when you own a few. There are small swatch cards in each set, which is kind of nice, and each color bears a name that goes with the mood and name of the set. However, you'll find no known color names like indigo or burnt sienna, so if you're used to these and are interested in the brand, this video will help you figure out what set could work best for you. Instead of the usual names, you'll find inspiring ones like pecan, foxberry, greystone, etc. I've been posting all of the mixing charts to my Instagram profile in the main feed. There is a link to that in the description, so if you want to get a very clear idea of what colors each set can give you when mixed together, I suggest you check it out. This is the Woodlands set. As you guessed, perfect to painting the nature. I just used it to paint this Disney-inspired painting from the Brave movie for a challenge I'm co-hosting right now on Instagram. My paintings in general are more muted than they are bright and very colorful, so don't be surprised if a set looks bright to you and my painting very muted. I like to mix colors to tone down flashier ones, and that's another reason why those mixing charts I make are so useful. I haven't tried complexions yet. I see from the chart I created and from the 12 colors, I can paint all skin colors and hair colors as well. I'm noticing the shades look very natural, nothing flashy. There's also a nice pinkish shade called lemonade you could use for lips or as a last layer to give glow to your skin. I can also imagine myself using this set to paint sunburnt landscapes, beaches, and ancient monuments that will look beautiful. In case you're wondering, most colors are only found in one set except for the complexion sets. I noticed in this one there are a lot of the other colors from other sets, but there are a few new colors as well. Shimmering lights will be a fun one for Christmas, and any magical painting or very sophisticated painting you might want to add a touch of silver or gold or copper to. For portraits, I could also totally imagine this as makeup accents. Just thinking about it, I kind of want to go try one for myself now. These colors feel different than the other set just when trying to pick them up. It's not easy to activate. I tried gold paints before, and it's usually the case because they're not made of your average pigment. That's nothing out of the ordinary. One of the first impressions I got about all the paints in the confection sets in general was that the colors are very easy to reactivate with a wet brush. That's really something I like because I've had paints before that are very hard to activate, or some where a layer of binder will sit on top when it's brand new, and it's very hard to get to the paint. Tropicals is one of those sets I recently tried when I got it as an ambassador. The colors in there are bright and fun, and to show you how you can achieve a lot with one set, I'll show you now a painting I recently made with tropicals that looks a lot more dramatic than the colors from the set itself. This one is the Little Mermaid inspired. It looks this way because I muted the colors with others from the set to make them less bright for the specific painting. So again, I just thought I'd point that out to show you how you can work with colors by mixing them. You'll get different looks depending on the mix. It's the whole point of this video. And also by adding more or less water to certain colors, like I'm going to demonstrate a little bit later with the Essence set. You can get refills of the color of your choice from the Art Philosophy site when you run out of a certain color. There's a number on each pan to help you find a match. And by the way, I have a coupon code for 15% off their shop that I'll add to my description in case you need it. I get a commission out of each sale, so if you appreciate my videos and need to place an order there, it's a great way to support me. There are a lot of greens in terrain and the necessary colors for landscapes. I used it very recently for this challenge I mentioned before. This one is a Robin Hood inspired painting. You can see I used all the greens to my advantage there and made it interesting with a bit of purple. One other thing that struck me about those confections paints is that they lift really well on a painting if you're going to rub a wet brush in a dry spot. When I started with them, because I was used to another brand, I was insisting too much when I layered on top of a previous layer. I was doing a lot of back and forth with my brush, but I quickly turned this feature to my advantage in this Galaxy video, for instance. I used the lifting technique on purpose to create highlights, and in this artwork I just finished doing, I used it because I messed up the edges here and the lights there, and I managed to fix my mistakes. On backgrounds where I layer, I am also careful to not do a whole lot of back and forth. I just wet the paper and start layering. So I'd say for someone who's just getting started with watercolors, they're pretty forgiving and can be convenient if you make mistakes. Currents has a nice variety of blues and greens, great as you guessed for painting water, but also why not the sky, grass or lush forest, blue flowers. I like that on this one the color chart card that came with it is bigger and there are details about the light fastness and pigment information too. You can also mix colors of different sets together. The sets just allow you to work with a limited harmonious palette. And I like the concept because being limited for me forces me to think about the things I could paint with each set, and I've come up with a lot of interesting color themes for what could have otherwise been regular paintings. The sets I know the most because they were the first I owned before entering the Ambassador program are Essence and Vintage Pastels. The colors in Essence look earthy and they're muted already. I mean by that they're not strong and flashy, which is what I personally prefer. This is one of the sets I know the most and I probably painted over 30 pieces with it, from flowers to beach scenes to more traditional landscapes and so on. I used this set for my most popular tutorial on this channel, the lamp post, with a nice blue and pink theme. Notice how by just saturating the colors more, by using them with less water, I was able to go from dreamy earlier to a more dramatic look with these seascapes. What I have noticed is with one set, you can achieve a lot depending on how you use these colors. Pastel Dreams is another one of these pastel sets, except in this one, the colors are brighter. They literally look like candy. I loved using it on a sunset scene I recently painted. It came out very nicely. I just felt like adding another darker blue from the current sets wouldn't hurt for more contrast because in this pastel set, the browns are dark, but I was trying to get an even darker color for my shadows and I had a hard time. So again, you can totally pair up a set with other colors from other sets or other brands. It's fine. Don't forget that in watercolor or art in general, you don't have to use the colors you see in real life. For instance, you can paint a purple tree or a red sea or anything very creative like that. And again, by mixing those shades together, the possibilities are even greater. Decadent Pies was one of those sets I really wanted to try. I actually painted an Aladdin-inspired piece with it, and it was perfect for a little magic because it has a shade that looks like indigo and other earthy tones that make me think of the basic earthy colors you would find elsewhere. There are a few shiny colors too, and on my painting I used the golden shade to add sparkle. And frankly, I can't wait to keep exploring this set. Okay, now let's look at vintage pastels. Another one of those sets I know well because I owned it before I was an ambassador. At first, I felt out of balance using pastels. They're very light in color, which is the whole point of pastel colors, and I found for me, for my painting style, they work better when I use them with little water, when I apply thicker layers because they come out darker. I love the fact this set has this dark tone called charcoal. It really helps complement any painting and build up contrast. I have a lot of examples of skies, landscapes, and even still life paintings for this set on my Instagram account. And finally, Odyssey. I love the colors in it, very fall like Halloween. We're going to be moving on to the mixing chart now, using the classics. As all of the watercolor half pans, these last a long time. This is why you shouldn't be afraid and think you're wasting paint when you make a color mixing chart like mine. First of all, I'd recommend to use the same brand of paper you normally use when you make your chart. This way you know the colors come out in the same way as when you paint. I'm tracing a square grid with 13 vertical and 13 horizontal rows. 13 because we have a set of 12 colors to mix each other, plus one row on each side for the actual colors themselves. I start with the first color in my set. I fill the top row, first slot, then the left one, first slot, and finally, the slot where these two meet. Then I go with my second color in my set and I repeat. I fill the top row, second slot, left row, second slot, and the slot where these two meet. I could choose to make a gradient of each color when I fill out the slots where two colors meet, but my squares are too small. I think it would be too tedious, and I already have a good idea of what I can get just looking at the plain mix I'm applying. By the way, I try to make this mix not too watery nor too dark. I prefer to get a sense of what the average color is. Now the real mixing work is going to start. I'm referring to the top row when I mix. Whatever color in the top row I pick, let's say the first one, white, I'm going to mix more of that color to the rest of the colors. So for instance, when I mix up white to pink, red, orange, and so on, I'll pick up more white than pink, red, orange, etc. In this second row, for instance, I'm working on mixing my pink shade to other colors. Here I'm mixing it to orange. I pick up my orange shade and I pick up twice more of my pink shade to make sure there is more pink in the mix. This is not going to be 100% accurate, of course, but you will get a sense of how much to add, and you can even adjust the amount. For instance, if my mix here still looked very orange, I may want to add some more pink to it to make sure that when I work on mixing orange, the orange-pink mix looks different than this pink-orange mix. I hope this makes sense. You can see the difference very clearly here. The white-red mix there looks very pastel, while the red-white mix over there looks more reddish, but still it's not as intense as what the original red looks like. And as I go and mix my red to other colors, notice how many deep shades of red I am getting now when mixing colors in this set. Another example, pink and green. Look at how different these two slots look like. And yet I mixed the same two colors, only in different proportions. Now I'm done and I'm getting a better overview of what a small set can do, I feel like. Actually, before I paint anything, I go to my mixing chart and I pick the set I feel best fits my idea. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Art Philosophy Watercolor Confection set and this watercolor mixing chart tutorial. Let me know in the comments if this has helped you, and please share the video or give it a like if you enjoyed it. If you're not yet subscribed, don't forget to do so and turn on notifications for more helpful videos. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.